episode too much. Episode 2, the neighbors gave her a gun and she just used it to kill Pedro. Accidentally, of course, but I was just like, oh my god. That was a setup. It really was. And then we got episode 3 called Neighbors from Hell. And oh my god, Evan Peters, I loved you in this episode. I want him so bad. Even though I know he's playing a white supremacist, I want to pinky swear with him and do him afterwards. But I'll know I'll never do it. I'm just talking and thinking about it. But God, he was so hot in this episode. I want Evan Peters so bad. I hope to meet him one day. The episode starts with a couple talking to the therapist, the shady therapist who I think is a part of the clown killings, and they talking about how she has a fear of coffins. I forgot the correct phobia name. And she says she was locked to a cupboard by her father when she was a little kid, and when she was bad, and that's kind of how her fear came about. And so she has this dream that her and her husband are kind of making out, and she always ends up in a coffin, and she can't get out. But she kind of got over that fear when she went to her father's funeral and closed the coffin on him. Then she had a dream that her and her husband was in this open field, and they were kind of making out, and she kind of conquered it. And he was just like, "Congratulations, that's great." She was just so happy, and her husband was happy, and I was just like, "Okay, that's good." And then they go back to their house trying to celebrate, and they get these clowns show up and lock them in coffins, in these elaborate coffins. I mean, they are like fighting and struggling, but for me, it was TV because if it were real life, I would be just going crazy, running, doing everything I gotta do. I would have a gun, but for the sake of TV, they get locked in the coffins and lasered shut, or uh, shut with lasers, whatever you want to call it. I, for one, was like, the therapist did it. He knew it because it had to be him. Who else would know that she had a fear of coffins like that? And they're screaming and trying to get out, but they can't do it. Meanwhile, Allie is getting backlash for killing Pedro. People are calling her a racist, especially the new neighbors. The shiesty cop shows up. You could tell he's in on it too. A lot of people, some people are calling her a hero, but she's getting kind of both of it, the haters and the people who want to support her. The protesters are outside their restaurant calling her a horrible racist, and you get to see Adina Porter, who was in Roanoke, and she's there reporting. I laughed so hard when she said people are calling Allie a lesbian George Zimmerman. I said, wow. Go in, Ryan, go in. I love that. Allie is bombarded by Kai again, but he tells her how he admires her for what she did and not to feel bad about it. And I think, of course, he's doing this because she's like a white woman, killed a Mexican. He must have been like trying to kill her or rape her, even though he was completely innocent. He's just trying to make her feel better, trying to get her over to his side. So the neighbors show up to her house wearing sombreros, asking her how she feels to exercise her white rights to kill a person of color. And they told her, "I gave you a gun to protect you. You go around killing innocent brown people." Billy Eichner says, "I'm part Mexican. Are you going to kill me too?" They tell her, "We don't want a racist like you in our neighborhood." She's like, "You don't want me here. We were here first." She was, "Oh, really?" Tell that to the Native Americans. And for a second, I was like, preach. Oh, my God. I love that line. And then basically, they throw Taco Bell coupons and she closes the door on them. Because she's just like, I don't have time for this. Then a naked guy shows up at their house and says he saw an ad on Craigslist saying that they were like horny lesbians who wanted a guy to show up and get freaky with. And Winter lets him in. Now that didn't even make any sense. They didn't fire her. She came back. Ivy, of course, like, I called her. She was like, she left me. She goes, yeah, but she's all right. And basically they end up keeping her there, and they end up fighting the guy, and Allie grabs him and says, "You don't get." Ivy grabs him and says, "You don't get out of here, I'm gonna kill you." And he leaves, and I'm thinking only in AHS because this was real life, that wouldn't happen. Allie calls the therapist and tells him about the ad and her other theories on who's terrorizing her, and she says she thinks it's the neighbors. He has the nerve to roll his eyes, and then he suggests she checks herself into the mental ward just for a few days, and when she says no, he tries to end the conversation just like, oh, well, we're out of time, blah blah blah. And I was just like, this therapist is in on it. I really hope Kai isn't. I really don't think he is. I think he's a part of the cult, but not a part of the clowns and the killings. Maybe because Evan Peters, I just don't want him to be evil like that, but I don't think he's a part of the killings. The protesters again come after Allie, and I was hoping she would just run them down, but she doesn't. Kai shows up and tells them to go, and they go, and he just looks like a savior or messiah to her. And he tells her again how he supports her and how she needs to have a good day. Then they come back and they see Winter gave Ozzy a guinea pig. And Allie doesn't like pets. She's just like, we don't like dander. And Winter has the nerve to question her like, oh, well, why not? Why can't he have it? It was like, it doesn't matter. I'm the parent. I said no. You shouldn't have even asked me why. And she just tells Ozzy, you got to say goodbye to the guinea pig. And he says, I wish I could say goodbye to you, and storms off. And I was just like, wow. She calls the neighbors just to cuss them out for, giving the guinea pig to Ozzy. And the guy, Billy Eichner's just like, I don't like you, but I like your son. So I gave him that. And the woman gets on the phone and goes, hello, Leslie. I just want you to know that you're a horrible racist, and just hangs up the phone. And I just laughed so hard. I'm like, these neighbors are so horrible. I mean, it is funny almost, because they just are so blunt about it. And she's just like, she hung up on it. She just hung up. And my favorite scene is coming up with Kai and Meadows. This scene, I loved it. Oh, it was the first time I saw it, I was like, oh my God. But I laughed. I loved it. He's speaking, swearing her, and asks her what her biggest fear is. And she was just like, do I have to be honest? She was like, yeah, be honest. She goes, I'm afraid that Sonia from the Real Housewives of New York has a drinking problem. He looks at her and slaps the crap out of her, knocks her all out of the chair onto the floor, and then he says, do you know how valuable my time is? This is a revolution. And she gets back up. He's like, don't waste my time. She gets back up. And he says, you want to matter. Because you're afraid that you'll never be penetrated by a man again. You're afraid that you're over 40. You don't have any kids. So you're afraid that you have to apologize all the time. So from now on, said, you make the world wrong. He said, you blame everybody else for things that happen. Stop saying you're sorry. And then she also tells him, I'm afraid my husband is turning against me. And he says, yeah, he is. He goes, I would. You're so effing irritating. And I laughed. I was like, wow, Evan Peters, that's funny. It's wrong, but it just made me laugh. Ozzy apologizes to Allie about what he said about her saying goodbye to her, and how he wants to find a good home for his pet. She says, you know what, you can keep it. You can keep the pet. And soon as he got home, I knew it. I said, that guinea pig is dead. And it was in a darn microwave. It was in a microwave. Somebody put it in there and cooked the darn guinea pig. How disgusting. Allie goes over to the neighbors and attacks them and just knocks the crap out of the wife and just said, or knocks the crap out of her husband. And the wife says, what are you doing? She was like, you want some too, huh? He said, you stay away from my family or I will kill you. And Ivy, of course, is not supportive. She brings up the Judy Stiles again, and she's just like, oh my God, do I have to hear about this every time we have a disagreement? And she sees the gas truck again coming, and she goes and confronts them, takes off the mask, says, show yourself. And she passes out. I'm just like, what the heck was that about? Billy Eichner and Kai are peaky swearing, and he says his biggest fear is that he married his fag hag. And Kai asks him, do you want her dead, Meadows? And she was just like, no, I don't like her. She, it's horrible, but I don't want her dead. He was just like, yes, you do. Just admit it. And I was just like, He's trying to convince him to kill his wife. And I was just like, oh my God. The cop shows up again, and Allie is telling him that the neighbors are behind the Craigslist. And of course, he doesn't believe it. Then we hear a scream from Ozzy, and we find out that he got into the blocked website. The password was clowns with a Z. Ivy did it, whatever. And you see that it's he sees a video of a Winter seducing Allie. And when Ivy sees this, she's just like, oh, she just smacks the crap out of Allie. Won't even let her explain. She says, I can't believe. She said, I would never do that to you. She said, I would never do that. You know, she was just like, aren't you more concerned about who would videotape that? And she just like, no, I'm leaving and I'm taking Ozzy with me. And I said, see, Ivy is in on it. Because if it were me, I'd be upset too. But I guess, wouldn't you care if somebody videotaped your house? I would be more concerned about that. But of course, Ivy just not being supportive is just like, I'm leaving you. As they're about to leave, the police are at the neighbor's house because Meadows is dead, and Billy Eichner is freaking out because he's like, I didn't do it. He goes, I woke up, I was asleep, I woke up, blood all over me. She's dead, and I didn't do it. And they're trying to arrest him for it. And Allie and Ivy come out. He accuses Allie of killing her, but it wasn't. She was just like, and police was like, calm down. He's like, I can't calm down. You need to get like me, get agitated. And they look for Ozzy, and they find him, I guess, in their house with blood everywhere and a bloody smiley face on the wall. And that's how the episode ends. Oh my God, this episode was so good. I cannot wait to see it again tomorrow. I will be trying to review that and This Is Us Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. Please, please hit the subscribe button. Slap it, grab it, hold it, whatever you have to do. Please hit that subscribe button, and please leave a comment down below and tell me what you think is going to happen on the Real House on American Horror Story Cult.